Hey everyone, this is Shooting Illustrated bringing you another episode of I Carry. In today's feature, we're taking another look at the Ruger RXM 9mm pistol and some related gear. Let's take a closer look at this setup. Interestingly enough, at the time this video was recorded, we were reviewing an old classics column on the Ruger P85, which stands as a fairly stark contrast to the RXM in today's kit. Ruger's take on the traditional double-action semi-automatic was robust, if not exactly the most aesthetically pleasing pistol on the market, and garnered a devoted fan base. The RXM is Ruger's most recent take on the traditional striker-fired pistol, borrowing rather heavily from the third-generation Glock G19 architecture for style and function. Since the RXM uses the G19 Gen3 framework, it maintains dimensions identical to the Glock. Barrel length is 4 inches, overall length is 7.2 inches, height is 5.3 inches, and width is 1 inch at the slide, with the weight of the RXM at 23.2 ounces. Ruger designed the RXM to use Glock magazines, shipping two 15-round Magpul PMags with each pistol. The RXM should also fit most, if not all, holsters designed for the G19, and many aftermarket parts for the Gen3 G19 will work in the RXM. Up top is a rather noticeable departure from standard Glock slides. Ruger has an optics-ready slide that, with the use of movable pins, can accept RMR, Delta Point Pro, and RMSC/Holosun K-Series footprint optics. Two sets of screw holes are drilled into the slide for the various footprints, with pin placement holding the optics in place. Be aware, though, the pins are teeny tiny and will disappear into a carpet never to be seen again. Ask me how I know. Optics are attached directly to the slide, meaning they will sit as low as possible and may co-witness with the existing sights, depending of course on the thickness of the sight itself. So, why the RXM instead of a used G19 Gen3 or one of the many clones? For one thing, the RXM has a chassis system that allows you to easily replace the grip module. As the RXM is a collaboration with Magpul, multiple grip frame options abound to fit the shooter's hand or color preference, and almost certainly more options will be available in the future. For the most important reason though, the RXM just plain works. While the trigger is a standard striker-fired type, it's fairly straightforward, has little creep or mush. Our handguns editor quipped it was as good as any Gen 5 Glock trigger she had tried, and the Gen 5 version is generally considered the best factory Glock trigger to date. Plus, at the end of the day, it's a Ruger. Enough said? We've opted for the Ambi Covert IWB holster from Crucial Concealment for today's kit, as it's a pretty fitting holster for the RXM. Both the Ambi Covert and the RXM aren't the flashiest things going, but they just plain work and at an attractive price to boot. The Ambi Covert features taco-style construction of .08 Kydex, with mid-length sweat guards and a cut for a micro red dot sight. A single-piece polymer belt clip attaches the Ambi Covert to the belt, and while it makes adding or removing the holster easy, it is a bit on the thicker side and care will need to be taken to avoid printing. The Ambi Covert is, as the name implies, completely ambidextrous. Simply swap the mounting hardware and it converts from a right-hand holster to a left-hand. In a neat display of forethought, the holes that allow hardware to be ambidextrous also function to help remove the screws, so you won't have to struggle to get the hardware out. Cant is adjustable, from straight drop for appendix carry to slightly forward for traditional inside the waistband, and retention can be increased or decreased with a single screw. Owing to the ease with which a micro red dot sight can be added to the RXM, combined with the optics cut in the Ambi Covert holster, the last part of today's kit is the RMS2 red dot sight from Shield Sights. The latest iteration of Shield's Reflex Mini sight, the RMS2 features automatic brightness detection and a claimed 20,000 hours of battery life with a single CR2032 battery. As with previous RMS versions, the battery is located on the bottom of the unit, meaning it will need to be removed from the slide to change. With aluminum construction, technically aluminium since it's a British company, anti-reflective coating on the lens, and IP67 rating for water resistance, the RMS2 is built to take the rigors of everyday carry. Brightness ranges from night vision compatible to daylight visible, and dots are available in either 4 or 8 MOA sizes. One quick note about the RMS2 specifically on the RXM. Owing to the smaller size of the RMS2, there is a slight gap in the optics cut. This is aesthetic only and did not affect function or fitment of the sight, but it is something to know ahead of time with the one-size-fits-many nature of the RXM optics cut. For more information on the items we've chosen for today's kit, and for other guns and gear combinations, please visit shootingillustrated.com. And, as always, stay tuned for more episodes of I Carry.